and welcome to Chapter 1 of our Beginner's Guide to Meditation. In this chapter, we're going to be talking all about how to create or find your own dedicated space to make meditating as easy as possible. So, most of the time, unless you're lucky enough to live on your own private island, you're going to be surrounded by noise, electromagnetic interference, frequencies, and a constant stream of distractions from things like your smartphones, tablets, laptops, and these smartwatches, all of which make meditation harder, certainly in the early stages, which is why I suggest creating or finding your own dedicated space. And it doesn't have to be fancy, so don't put barriers in the way. You don't need to spend any money. It just needs to support your practice and make it as easy as possible for your mind and your body to engage fully. For what it's worth, I have a space on a bench in my local park under two big, beautiful trees, and I visit there every morning at about 6:30 or 7:15, unless it's pouring with rain. And for me, just the act of arriving there is enough to prepare my headspace for my 20 to 30 minute meditation. And it's this kind of consistency that creates a kind of mental and emotional anchor for your practice. So returning to the same spot over and over again reinforces a sense or a feeling of calm and positivity, which makes it easier to transition into a meditative state, even when your mind might feel occupied or you're really distracted. So some people, like me, may find it easier to leave the house, go outside, while others may prefer to stay inside, stay at home. It doesn't matter. Personally, I love walking, and I'm lucky enough to have time in the mornings to gift myself an hour or two. But like I said, there is no wrong or right way. It's just about what works best for you as an individual. Ideally, though, you will want a quiet space, preferably little to no harsh artificial lighting, and away from your Wi-Fi router if possible as well. So make sure your TV is turned off unless you are using it to help with your practice, and put your phone on silence. And take any laptop or tablets and put those in another room, again, unless you're using them to help with your practice. And like I said earlier, if you are wearing a smartwatch, it wouldn't hurt to take it off for the duration of the meditation. At this point, I will also say this, because you are clearly interested in the idea of meditation, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. Despite all of the images you've probably seen promoting it, of really beautiful people in beautiful places, wearing beautiful clothes, you don't need to look or dress a certain way, and you don't need to have access to a beautiful sort of Zen-like retreat with an oak deck, and you don't need to carve a space out on a misty Japanese mountainside, and you definitely don't need to sit with your legs crossed on a yoga mat, unless it's comfortable or you have a yoga mat, in which case great. But for me, I find it very uncomfortable. I simply sit down on my bench and I rest my hands on my legs and I breathe until I'm settled. And I'm not interested in being identified as a meditator by passers-by. I think that kind of defeats the object. When you do this, you do it not for the benefit of others, but you do it for yourself. And whatever you can do in a mindful sense to facilitate your practice, to make it easier, firstly, more comfortable, more effective, you should do. Now, music. Okay, music can significantly influence your mind and your body, which makes it a really powerful supporting tool for enhancing your practice, your meditation. And the right music can help to sort of guide your focus and deepen your relaxation and create a much more immersive experience, making it easier to keep you in the zone, which is really important, especially in the early days. And unless I'm in bed, and I've been doing it for years, and I don't want to risk waking my wife, I will always use music, always. And if you're a Rise Meditation subscriber, you will have access to our guided meditations and dedicated musical environments, all of which have been built from the ground up, composed and designed to deepen your connection and support your practice. But for those that don't, our playlists are still available on all of the major streaming providers, and a selection of our guided meditations beyond this beginner's guide are freely available on YouTube, via our Rise Meditations channel. Links are in the descriptions. I'm not going to bore you with that. Now then, accessories. Okay, if you are outside, it's kind of a given that headphones are going to need to be used, unless you don't want to listen to music. It's up to you. But they're also a really great tool to use indoors because they can help to cancel out the environmental sort of noise and reduce the potential of distractions like maybe children or wives or husbands. I don't know. But you could also diffuse a calming or a grounding essential oil blend. But if you don't have those, you could also burn some incense to set the tone for the practice. But again, I want to stress, these are tools that can be used to heighten your experience, but they are most definitely not essential. So there you have it. I hope this video has given you some food for thought when it comes to preparing your space for meditation. Please check out the description for my recommendations insofar as music and accessories are concerned. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.